Welcome to the Purple Positivity Podcast for May the 15th, 2018. I am your host, the amazingly adorable Rebecca Thistle, podcasting to you live-ish from my kitchen/dining room table in my apartment, which I call Jeffrey Thistlework. Yes. Wordplay. Ooh. So, I normally don't do my show on Tuesdays. If you listen to this show on a regular basis, I'm sorry. And thank you. But, if you do listen to this show regularly, then you know yesterday I was not feeling it at all. I had a horrible Mother's Day. I mean, I generally don't have good Mother's Days to begin with. But yesterday, I think, was the worst for me. And I know it could have been way worse, because my friend and coworker, her mother passed away right before Mother's Day, and that has had to have been hell on her. And so I don't want to sit here and pretend like I've had the worst in the world. I've had the worst in my experience. The best Mother's Day that I had was actually in 2015, because MC Lars sent me a bunch of merchandise, and I got it, he I don't know when he sent it, but I got it on Mother's Day. I was kind of moody because my son was about 17 months old at the time, and I went, he doesn't know what Mother's Day is. He doesn't know the concept of breakfast in bed, or, let's go out to eat, or, whatever. He doesn't understand that, and it's just me, and my mom doesn't really want to do anything, so I was sort of like, and then I went, oh yeah, MC Lars was sending me something in the mail for whatever reason. And so I went down to the mailboxes in my apartment at the time, and sure enough, there's this package, and I got a hat, and I got a t-shirt, and I got a hoodie, and he has these, USB keychains that look like robots, because he has that album, This Gigantic Robot Kills. Oh. And that was the best Mother's Day that I'd ever had. I was like, oh my gosh, I got a Mother's Day present from MC Lars. I love him. I really do. Too bad he is betrothed to another. That's okay. Sunday was I think the worst, and so I'm hoping that since that was the worst, that means that it can always get better. So a year from now, I'll probably look back and go, I made it through. And it'll be better. It'll be better. If all my daydreams come true, then it'll be awesome. But yeah, so I mean, by the end of Mother's Day, I texted my all caps someone, and I said, this day can fuck right off. And then shortly after I sent that message, I started having a panic attack, and so I took some of my anti-anxiety medicine because I couldn't get it under control. And that shit knocked me the fuck out. And so when I got up, like I do on Mondays, even though I don't work on Mondays, I still get up generally between 4 and 5 in the morning and do this show and do social media stuff and get some work done, although it doesn't look like work to most people. And I go about my day. But yesterday I was still out of it from the medication. I was still upset about Mother's Day. If you heard yesterday's show, I was not feeling it at all. And I went, okay, I'm going to record the show, and I'm going to be honest about it, and that's going to be that with regards to the podcast. And then I'm going back to bed. That's exactly what I did. I posted the podcast, I went back to bed, and I went back to sleep. And I needed some time to wallow in self-pity. And that's kind of what I want to talk about is, wallowing in self-pity. There is some good in throwing yourself a pity party. Just like there is good in throwing yourself a cocktail party. Parties are good when they last for a finite amount of time, no matter how long or how short. As long as there is a finite amount of time. And so I gave myself that finite amount of time to wallow in that self-pity. And I thought I was out of it. I thought I'd ended my pity party, and then I started talking to, all caps, someone, and in the middle of the conversation, I started flipping through pictures on my iPad of my son, and I got real quiet, and he asked me, he's like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? And I was like, I was just looking at pictures of my son. And he goes, don't do that. That's just salting the wound. That wasn't his exact words, but that's basically what he was saying. That's just rubbing salt in the wound. It's good that you miss your kid. You're gonna get him back. And I know it hurts, but doing that shit is just gonna make it hurt worse in the meantime. And as soon as he said that, I went, oh, fuck. And I should have said this, but I didn't. That's why I keep him around. He keeps me in check. He keeps me in check. That's what I needed. I needed somebody to say, to point out to me in a weird roundabout way, although I don't think this is necessarily his intention, but that I was still wallowing in that self-pity. I really was. But like I said, throwing yourself a pity party every now and again, I think is a good thing. As long as it lasts for a finite amount of time. And in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, actually it's the third book, which is called Life, the Universe, and Everything. I highly recommend reading the entire series because that is the best trilogy with 5 books that you will ever read. And if you don't get why that's funny, then go away. The best trilogy with 5 books. So in the third book, Life, the Universe, and Everything, there's this flying cocktail party. Here's the thing about that flying cocktail party, is it started out as a normal cocktail party, and then everybody at the party decided that they didn't want the party to end, so it just kept going and going. And go read the book because Douglas Adams explains it a lot better. But here's the bullet point, is the party never stopped, and by the time we run into it, it is now airborne, and 2 or 3 generations removed from the original party guests. So you have 2 or 3 generations of people who were born and raised in this cocktail party, in the air, circling this planet, terrorizing liquor stores. Oh my gosh. See, that kind of pity party, that kind of duration for a pity party, that is a problem. That's when it's a problem. But when you have a finite amount of time to throw yourself a pity party, then that's good. You know? Everybody does it. Some people, shit happens to them. They go, oh, poor me for about like 5 seconds and then go, nah, fuck it. And they move on and they kick ass and conquer, and these people are called my heroes. I'm still learning how not to pity party indefinitely. I'm still learning. I think I'm getting better at it, but I'm still learning. And yesterday I definitely needed to throw myself that little pity party. Because there's a certain catharsis in it. But it's all going to be okay. So, pity party's over. I got to get ready for work. I got to go do my job. About which I'm very ambivalent. And I got to move forward. I'm going to get my kid back. I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to turn things around. I don't know how, and I don't know when. And I don't need to know how or when. I just need to know that it's going to happen. And believing that it's going to happen in combination with actually making it happen is what's going to keep me from throwing myself another pity party. And as time goes on, there's going to be setbacks. I get it, You can't really expect specifics when it comes to setbacks, but, you can expect that they will happen. There will be setbacks. But as long as I keep going, hopefully the pity parties after the setbacks will become shorter and shorter and shorter. And I'll get to practice not throwing huge pity parties. And instead I can turn my life into a flying cabaret. I don't know. I've been listening to the musical Cabaret here recently. And so, life is a cabaret, old chum. I really want to learn that song on ukulele. I really do. Anyways, but that's really all I have to say about it. Is just pity parties are good as long as they last for a finite amount of time. Don't let your pity parties fly. And it's always good to have people that can keep you in check. And sometimes when they check you, you gotta, not get defensive about it. Because I've had a tendency of doing that in the past. Of, somebody pointing out that I'm just hurting myself and I'm doing more harm than good at this point.